What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk about Lilium, ticker is LILM. I do want to talk on this company. There is a huge upside potential, but I'm going to go over all of this, go into a little bit more of a deep dive as far as more analytics and what this actually company can do possibly. At the end, I'll tie it all together with some technical analysis. But before I get into any of that, all I ask, smash a thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. If you are new to the channel, I do daily videos on trending stocks, crypto, I do it all. So make sure you do subscribe. Also, take a look at my Discord, link in the description below. There's a lot of good people, a lot of good chat, and with that said, let's get right to it. So looking at the 1 year chart, you can tell it was a SPAC, got rolled out, had a little bit more volatility, and then unfortunately it just came out during the wrong time. A lot of negativity, a lot of fear out in the market, even though in theory this is a very good product. And as you can tell right now, it is futuristic. So technically it has a EV component, so it's electric. It does have a vertical takeoff and landing. So this in reality does join a lot of cities, so you can easily travel. I believe it's up to 177 miles. So just obviously thinking about it in that concept and as far as a distance and what it could be used for, imagine this on a grander scale. So this is where I think a lot of investors are starting to think about, is this technology, once it does get through the FAA approvals, because there's still a lot of hurdles that this company does technically need to go through, which technically has aided in it going down, in addition to kind of a little bit more of bleeding cash, but that's not really what I'm going to be talking about today. But as you can tell, when it comes down to this, it is a high risk, high return as far as an investment. So you just need to keep that in mind. Also, I am not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence at the end of the day. But given all the circumstances and the market cap right now, so this is based on their recent earnings as well. So I'm just going to go through this. Market cap is 823.93 million. So like I said, it is what it is. It's fairly small cap in my opinion, at least. And looking right here, technically based on its recent balance sheet, total cash equivalents and short-term investments 65 million, total long-term investments 10.72 million, and total debt is 13.97 million. So overall, that's not too bad, especially coming from an investor standpoint. There still is technically a pretty heavy multiple, because when it comes to Wall Street adding multiples on a company, definitely it does value and appreciate future growth and technology, both of which this definitely has. As far as you can even tell based on the 2025 future revenue growth, 659%. Obviously there is no revenue estimations for 2022-2023. This is why, again, it's just going down a little bit, because it's just mostly bleeding cash. There is still a ton of hurdles that this company needs to go through. So again, there is a level of risk that you need to keep in mind, but imagine what this actually could do. Imagine having a 747 equivalent of this. So there is a lot of huge potential for this, especially considering as well the EV component. So there is a huge and might be a huge movement towards this as far as development and growth. So that's as well something to keep in mind. But when it comes down to institutions, I'm just going to go through some basic information. I'm just going to start off with short information. Again, I don't really necessarily bring up short information because I feel it's going to be a short squeeze, but these individuals clearly think that is going to go down. So it's good to see and use them as a benchmark. So right now it is 1.4% of the short interest. That's what it is. Down roughly about 6% from 1 week prior. Utilization is 77.18. Day by day change today, it's actually gone down 1.61%, which works out to be 48,000 shares being returned. So shorts aren't really entering in on this. And so how I take that is I see that as a bullish sentiment. And when I go to options activity, you can tell today it is fairly low volume when it comes down to options. Only $11.09 thousand worth of options being done today, with 100% of them being positive. Overall for the whole week, it was 14.92 thousand with 74% positive. So overall, it is what it is. Fairly, like I said, small cap, but there is a huge amount of upside. And I just want to show you this as well, keeping in line with obviously options activities. This is updated information as of Q4 2021. So you can see hedge funds did have 627,000 total call options, which is down roughly about 8% from 1 quarter prior, but still 627,000 options on theoretically a $823 million market cap. So that definitely shows that there is something in the water. Again, they could be very long-term calls with a huge anticipation that they'll go up. And looking at all total 13F filers, there was 2.11 million total call options, again by all 13F filers. So that definitely definitely will make a lot of investors kind of look at it in a different light. Again, I like to see this, and I like to see a lot of options activity and short information and piece together what I possibly might see something coming from that. And like I said, their website is fairly informative, so I highly suggest you taking a look at that. Right now, when it comes down to this, the latest test flight, I'm just going to go through this. So it does refer you to YouTube. I really do like this, and at the end of the day, it looks really cool. Again, you don't really want to buy a company necessarily just because it looks cool. And like I said, there is some other things I do want to go through, keeping in line again with options activity. So looking at this, there was 920 options again just today alone. And given the market cap, I keep bringing that up because when it comes down to the market cap and its size, you don't really get this amount of options activity. So that definitely does make this company stand out, makes this company feel like it has something for it and something going for it, which it definitely does. I really do like that. So I'm just going to quickly go here as well. And right now you can see on the live ticker to my left, obviously the market is closed, but today was a very much red day for them, 9.4% down. As you can see, 2.7 million shares being traded today, 1.1 the average. So definitely in that regard, a fairly low volume company as well. Whereas 328,000 shares were purchased by institutions and hedge funds today alone. And you can tell that based on the block volume column. So that is, again, relatively high, especially based on the market cap. A lot of institutions are getting in clearly as well on the options front as well. So like I said, definitely has a lot of good things going for it. I'm just going to do it a little bit more technical analysis on this. So right now, the 50, 100, 200-day moving averages, Bollinger Bands, RSI, stochastic, and momentum. So looking on the actual chart, you can see momentum, number of buyers is all over the place. So right now it is starting to take a little bit more of a dip right now, but it is all over the place. As you can tell where my cursor is, that is at 0. Anything below that, theoretically, we are actually losing buyers every single day. So that's something to keep in mind. Over the last little bit, we have been losing quite a lot of buyers. Looking on stochastic, there is a deviation that started a couple days back. Black line above the red showing a little bit more of a bullish sentiment. So that is positive. Even looking at RSI, which is 39, that in my opinion as well is fairly oversold. And looking on the actual chart, so today was a very interesting day. We did have a very much red day, obviously, as you can tell, but we did actually try to transition from the higher to the lower percentile of the Bollinger Band, met with a lot of resistance and bounced off of that. Nice natural movement, a little bit of consolidation, getting a stronger base, then we try again. So overall, I'm not really worried that we are down 9.4%, especially considering as well the market cap. It is all over the place and it's going to continue to do so. It is well below all the moving averages as well, but keep in mind where it actually was, and considering it was a SPAC and got rolled out, there was and is a lot of fear when it comes down to SPACs. The SEC is targeting a lot of SPACs and all of their papers and things like that. It is what it is. Obviously, we can't really help that attribute, but at the end of the day, if stocks go down as much as they are, they get to a certain point where it does appeal to a lot of value investors, such as institutions and hedge funds. So again, this does validate why there's so much institutions and hedge funds getting in today alone. Because even myself, just basically looking at a lot of the actual numbers, the potential for this company, it is very alluring. So that's one thing as well, because I'm a very big value investor. I really do like that. And this company has a lot of attributes that definitely does scream value. Obviously, nobody really likes to tie up their money until 2025, with also possible dilution along the way. Nobody likes that, unfortunately. But when it comes down to it, we are at a pretty significant discount in my opinion. And given the actual technology and where I see this, especially considering by 2025, this could be one of those companies that is a 10x, 20x company. So that's something as well, just keep in mind, because these future technology companies are going to be very big deals, especially considering if they have a good EV component to that. And right now, airline industry is just bleeding, especially considering oil prices are at all-time highs. So it's currently at $104.95. And obviously this doesn't immediately roll into as far as gasoline prices and things like that. It has to get refined and whatnot. And even more so technically the gas that's used for airlines. And when that gets more expensive, less flyers, and it just slows the overall economy down. So this is a very good product. Hopefully they could ramp it up a little bit more by 2025. But still, again, it is a lot of hurdles, like I said. With all that said, let me know your thoughts on Lilium in the comments below. If you are a shareholder, let me know as well if you've been diamond handing it or since you've been buying it here. give yourself a shout out. You definitely deserve it. You've been through the ringer. But at the end of the day, let me know your thoughts where you see this company as well. If you haven't already, smash the thumbs up and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With all that said, appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on Lilium.